But then that next year in 1992, your brother Osvaldo ends up getting killed in Colombia.
Yeah, I was with him 2 months before he got killed.
The story that Charles told me was that he had insulted Escobar at a nightclub.
Osvaldo was released from prison. He went back to Colombia. So at that time, Pablo Escobar, he was on a run. He had already escaped prison, so he was on a run. Chichi had a coming home party. He badmouthed Pablo Escobar. You know, he wasn't nothing but a grave robber. He was a card thief. So he badmouthed him publicly.
So that's all nonsense.
It's nonsense. My brother doesn't bow down to Pablo. He loves Pablo. He's basically one of Los Ochoa's clan, and he's Griselda's son. In other words, my brother was already taking over Medellin. My mother's partners back in the 70s, a couple of them were from the Cali cartel. My mother had a great relationship. My mother was a businesswoman. She did business in Spain, London, Brazil, and of course, Cali. Because back in her days, there was no beef between different empires. That all happened because of Pablo. So Chiqui had those ties as well because of the good relationships my mother had made, you know, when they were younger. So he's working with everybody, and now he's working with Rayful's people, the black people on the East Coast, black people on the West Coast, and he's making major money. It kind of ruffled Pablo's feathers. Why? So at that time, there was 2-3 offices of killers in Medellin, and one was Los del Edificio in Manrique. Later on, it became La Terraza and other offices of killers. But to this day, that building is still in Manrique. And my brother was a Colombian American. My brothers were Colombian Americans. So they knew how to do things flashy. They knew how to spread money around. They knew how to take care of their workers. And if you were somebody else's worker, yeah, but you don't look like you eating right. Yeah, here's a truck, here's a house, and here's $100,000. Have you ever seen $100,000 in your life? No. How many people you think you got to kill for that? Yeah, that's on the house. Keep that. The day I call you, are you with me? So I guess that kind of went back to Pablo. And at the time, Pablo's in La Catedral sitting. He's about to escape. I was there when he escaped at my brother's penthouse. We were on the rooftop watching everything. I guess he kind of didn't like that, but that wasn't the thing. If you read my book, in my book, it's clear that the beef was with Los Tomates. The tomatoes, Los Tomates, I know it sounds funny, was a cartel that was under Pablo in Medellin. But at the same time, they were playing both sides and fucking with Los Pepes. Los Pepes, perseguidos por Pablo, were the ones, it was Cali cartel, Medellin cartel, Delta, DEA, everybody together to kill Pablo Escobar. That's why the name was Los Pepes, followed by Pablo. That's how they named themselves. And Chiqui was such an intricate part, making everybody money in Medellin, that they kind of didn't like Chiqui either. So at a nightclub, to elaborate, the correct story is, my brother Dixon and Negro, which is the most violent one out of all my brothers, is at a nightclub, and he's there showing with his, American women, and they're there together, and Los Tomates are at another table, and the Tomates' right-hand man goes up to the table, and he puts a bottle on the table, and he's like, that's for you guys. We got this, like showing off. And my brother's like, yeah, okay, you can leave now. And the guy gets offended, and he tells my brother Black, he goes, what's up with you Griseldos? That's what they call us. And my brother goes, excuse me? And he's got his goons there, but my brother's like bodyguarded, and my brother's an old school bandit. And he's like, he's like, what's up with you? And he's like, we didn't ask you for a bottle. And the guy's like, no, I brought it here just to, for you guys. And then he goes, my brother's like, take that shit back. And he goes, what's up with you Griseldos? And my brother goes, excuse me? And he goes, bro, I'm gonna put it to you real easy. Yeah, Pablo's not gonna last. the guy telling my brother, and he goes, and when he's done, now you guys ain't gonna have insurance, and Chiqui's not gonna have insurance, and my boss is gonna take over Medellin, and you're gonna bow down. And my brother Dixon tells him, buddy, I'm Griselda Blanco's son. We don't bow down to Pablo. We'll never bow down to anybody. Pop, 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 and drops him in front of everybody. These guys shoot it out with his goons. The very next day, Tomate gives my brother a declaration of war and tells him, oh, now we're gonna kill each other. We lived on the penthouse. They lived on the first floor.
Same
Welcome
building.
to Medellin. Yeah. And Medellin was, at that time, I think it was the second murder capital of the world next to Bosnia or something like that. Because imagine a city that per square capital, there's more billionaires than probably Saudi Arabia. You get it? They're all drug traffickers. So their power struggle usually wasn't for, it was over anything. I fucked your bitch. Kill them all. I'm the powerful guy here. And it was all because a worker got loud with my brother, and my brother was quick to bust that trigger. And he did that, killed the guy, and then shit hit the fan. I'm there a couple months after that happened. They're already warring, and Pablo already knows that El Tomate has changed sides. So he's kind of like, all right, Chiqui, do this, do that. But then something happened in D.C. Something happened that there was a load that was lost, and that load was a couple M's. And one of the bosses that owned that load was being a little tough with my brother Chiqui also, so he got with Los Tomates. And then my brother Chiqui kind of peeped it, and my brother Chiqui was like, you know what? We're going to kill them all. We're going to tie that up. And they got to him first.
Okay, so that's how your brother Osvaldo got killed.
Yeah, and then the story goes that Mickey and Los Tomates put the hit on Chiqui for the debt that was a couple M's because Chiqui was about to kill him too and Los Tomates. They had already killed a lot of Los Tomates' organization. I'm back in Cali. I kid you not, the last day I see my brother, 3 days before I saw my brother, he was bitching at my other brother for taking me to a nightclub. I'm 14. I turned 14 in Medellin. I'm in the nightclub and, I see the whole sicario thing. And then the next day, my brother's telling my other brother, yo, why did you take him to that nightclub? You know we're at war. And that little kid is kidnappable like this. And they'll not even kidnap him. They'll kill you both there and it's a wrap. And they're bitching at my brother, Uber, my big brother and Negro and Chiqui, and they're telling him, fucking idiot. And then they tell me, look, kid, you got a choice to make. Yeah. You can stay here, but we're not going to allow that because we're at war again. So I want you to go back to the Bay Area. We're going to buy you a house. What you want, a 64 Impala? We're going to buy that puppy too. You're going to go to college. You're going to study business, and you're going to give up this whole you want to be a capo. And I'm like, yeah, no problem. You're going to buy me a house. I want to go back to the States. I had a great summer vacation. Send me back. And the day before I jumped on the plane, I'm sitting in the office looking at my brother like I'm looking at you. And he's there on his marble desk. The other guy's holding the amplifier to the old Pioneers cell phones. His bodyguard's outside, and I'm there chilling on this white leather thing that my mother had that chair until she died as well. And I look at my brother, and something told me, this is the last day you see your brother. And 2 months later, he gets killed at the same club that they didn't want me at.